I am holding a coat that cost more than I made last month, and the woman who threw it at me just walked away without looking back. It is 2 in the morning at the Platinum Lounge. The music is so loud I can feel the bass in my chest. Colored lights flash over the dance floor. People laugh and scream and spill drinks. I am in all black, standing behind the coat check counter like part of the wall. I am not here to dance. I am here because 3 years ago, I owned a place better than this one. And the woman who just threw her coat at me is the reason I lost everything. Her name is Victoria Chun. She walks like gravity does not apply to rich people. Tonight, she is wearing a cream-colored coat that probably costs what I pay for 6 months of rent in my tiny apartment. She does not hand me the coat. She throws it. It hits my shoulder and I catch it without thinking. After 3 years of this job, catching things is automatic. You wrinkled the sleeve last time, she says. She does not look at me. She looks at her reflection in the dark window near the DJ booth, checking her teeth with a little smirk. If you damage the lining tonight, I will make sure they take it out of whatever they pay you. Tips, minimum wage, whatever. I do not answer. I just tag the coat and hang it up. Claim ticket 777. Lucky number for some people. Not for her. Not tonight. I know that sounds crazy. I am the coat girl, and I am talking like I have power. But that is because I am not really just staff. Not anymore. What Victoria does not know is that this building, this club, this whole shiny kingdom she thinks belongs to her circle, is about to belong to me. Before I tell you how I got from owner to coat check to owner again, I need you to understand what she took from me. 3 years ago, I was not checking coats. I was Rachel Morrison, owner of a club called the Glass House. It was 2 blocks east of here. We had crystal chandeliers, velvet booths, and a list of members people bragged about getting on. You could not just walk in off the street. You had to apply. You had to agree to rules. Rule number 1 was simple. If you were rude to staff, you did not come back. I did not care how rich you were. You snapped at servers, talked down to bartenders, treated the bathroom attendant like trash, you were done. No second chances. The Glass House was for people who knew how to be decent. That rule is why Victoria and I met. She sent in an application. Perfect paper, perfect photo, all the little details typed by some assistant. She paid the fee. She showed up for an introductory visit, like she already owned the place. Her husband, Marcus, runs a tech company called Technova. Their friends call her the CEO wife. She thought that was enough. I reviewed every application myself. I remembered her name from notes I had heard from other places, other owners, other managers. Victoria snaps at servers. She sends drinks back for fun. She likes to test people. She treats staff like they are furniture. So I denied her. She stood in front of my hostess stand in a white dress and high heels, looking at me like I was something on the bottom of her shoe. "Do you understand who my husband is?" she asked. Her voice was soft but sharp. "I do not care who your husband is," I said. "Our standards apply to everyone. You are not approved." She did not scream. She did not throw a fit. She just smiled, a small, cold smile, turned around and walked out. Her heels clicked on the marble floor. That should have been the end of it. It was not. 2 weeks later, small things started to go wrong. A nightlife blog posted a blind item about a club downtown that was rumored to have shady money and unsafe conditions. They did not name us, but they described the chandeliers, the velvet, the street. Everyone knew who they meant. The top advertiser on that blog was Technova. Then our best corporate client dropped us. Technova had been booking our VIP section every Friday for company parties. $75,000 a year, just from their standing reservation. One day they canceled. No reason. When I called, the assistant said, "Mr. Chun has decided to work with venues that better represent our company values." Values. From the man whose company had just been fined for selling user data without permission. I almost laughed. Almost. 6 weeks after I denied Victoria, the fire marshal showed up on a Friday afternoon. Not for a routine check, for an emergency investigation based on what he called a credible anonymous tip about safety violations. We had no violations. Our exits were clear. Our capacity limits were posted and followed. The kitchen was spotless. The inspector walked through with a clipboard and a frown anyway. He checked things twice that did not need checking. He talked in low tones with his partner. Then he put a bright orange sticker on my front door. Closed by order of fire marshal. Pending investigation. 72 hours. In this business, 3 days might as well be 3 years. People see that sticker and they assume the worst. Fire hazards. Drugs. Crime. They do not come back. The sticker comes off, but your reputation does not. My investors pulled out the next morning. One of them, a man who helped me get my first loan, called from his car. "Rachel, I believe in you," he said, "but the word going around is that you are on some kind of list. The Chun family is telling people you are under investigation. We cannot be connected to that. I am sorry." Sorry did not help when the bank took the building. Sorry did not help when I sat on the floor of my empty club, staring at the marks on the walls where the chandeliers used to hang. Sorry did not help when I lost my house 6 months later. I saw Victoria one time after everything fell apart. I was leaving the unemployment office holding a plastic folder with forms I did not want to fill out. I was wearing a second-hand blazer and shoes that hurt my feet. My hair was grown out and dull. I probably smelled like stale coffee. She was coming out of an expensive boutique next door, arms full of shopping bags. Her hair was perfect. Her sunglasses probably cost more than my car used to be worth. She saw me. Our eyes met. She did not say a word. She did not need to. She gave me a tiny smile and a little wave, like you wave at a bug before you step on it. Then she slid into her white Range Rover and drove away. That wave broke something in me. Not my spirit. Something deeper. It broke the part that believed playing fair would protect me. It broke the part that thought karma would take care of people like her. So I made a decision. I went dark. I cut my hair short and dyed it dark brown. I stopped wearing makeup. I bought cheap clothes in plain colors. When I looked in the mirror, I did not see the woman who owned the glass house. I saw someone nobody would look at twice. Good. That was what I wanted. Then I applied for a job at the Platinum Lounge, the place where Victoria and Marcus started spending all their time after my club closed, the place they called their second home. The interview was fast and cold. The general manager, David, barely glanced at my resume. His tie was crooked. He had deep lines under his eyes. "You available nights and holidays?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "Can you work on short notice?" "Yes." "You steal?" "No." He squinted at me. "You look familiar." My heart jumped, but I kept my face calm. "I just have one of those faces," I said. "I worked at a chain restaurant in another state." He shrugged. "Right. Okay, you start Friday. Do not call in sick." That was 3 years ago. For 3 years, I have checked coats. I have cleaned spilled drinks. I have mopped bathrooms. I have watched Victoria hold court in her favorite booth and listened to her tell stories about how she helped clean up the city's nightlife by getting rid of that trashy place dragging values down. She means my club. She says it right in front of me. She thinks I am invisible. One night, about 2 years in, I am restocking toilet paper in the women's bathroom when Victoria and her friend come in. They are drunk on martinis and perfume. They do not check the stalls. They just start talking. "Shutting down that club was so much work," Victoria says, fixing her lipstick. "So many phone calls, so many favors, but it was worth it." You should have seen her face when the inspector showed up. She looked like she was going to cry. Quote, "I am standing in the stall next to them, holding a roll of toilet paper so tight the cardboard crushes in my hand. She is confessing, out loud, in public, and she has no idea I am right there. That night, I go home to my tiny apartment. I sit at my cheap kitchen table. I open my old laptop. I am done waiting for karma. It is time to learn how to take everything back. I did not sleep much that night. I sat at my little table with a cup of cheap coffee and my old laptop, and I made a list. Not a list of petty payback, a list of systems. Fire department, city inspectors, liquor license board, property records, corporate filings, distributors, lenders. Victoria and Marcus had used systems against me. They had pulled strings I did not even know existed. If I wanted real revenge, I had to learn those strings better than they did. So I got to work. During the day I checked coats and smiled and said, "Have a good night." During my breaks I read articles about commercial real estate law on my phone. At 3 in the morning after my shift, I watched videos about shell companies and holding companies and debt purchases. I printed things out and highlighted them like I was back in school. I also made a different list. Names, old investors, former landlords, other owners, people who had reasons to hate Marcus and his company, people who had lost money when Takeover pulled out of deals or crushed smaller partners on the way up. I reached out to 2 of them first. They had invested in my old club before everything went bad. They had also been burned by Marcus in another deal, a tech project he had dropped at the last minute, leaving them stuck with equipment and staff they could not use. We met at a diner at 4 in the morning. The kind of place with cracked red booths and coffee that tastes like burned rubber. But the waitress keeps refilling it without asking questions. They looked tired and suspicious when they sat down across from me. "Rachel, why are we here?" one of them asked. His name is Tom. He used to wear suits. Tonight he is in a hoodie. "I want to buy the Platinum Lounge," I said. They both stared at me like I had just said I wanted to buy the moon. "You want to compete with them?" the other one, Serena, asked. "After what they did to you?" "I do not want to compete," I said. "I want to own them. I want the ground under their feet. I want the paper they sign every month without reading. I do not care about the brand. I care about the building, the licenses, the supply chain." "They are not selling," Tom said. "This place is their playground." "They do not have to want to sell," I said. "The company that owns the building is drowning. They opened 3 new places in Vegas right before everything slowed down. They are behind on payments. They are desperate. We do not ask them to sell us the club. We buy the debt that owns the club." That got their attention. I opened my folder and slid some printed pages across the table. Property records, corporate filings, a few notes I had scribbled in the margins. "Look," I said, pointing. "The Platinum Lounge is not owned by the Platinum Lounge. It is owned by a company called Metropolitan Entertainment Holdings. That company is backed by a private equity firm that cares only about returns. They do not care about Marcus and Victoria's feelings. They care about not losing money." Serena flipped through the pages, her eyes scanning the lines. "You have been busy," she said. "I have had 3 years," I said. 3 years of standing in that coat closet listening and watching while they treated everyone like garbage. 3 years to learn how this structure works. We formed a new company that night. A boring name that would not draw attention. RLM Holdings, registered in Delaware. Layers of paperwork, all proper, all clean. To the world, RLM Holdings was just another real estate investment group. To us, it meant something else. Rachel's long memory. While Victoria rolled her eyes at servers and tapped her glass at bartenders, I learned everything about the Platinum Lounge. I learned the name of their liquor distributor, Premium Beverage Solutions. I learned how often deliveries arrived. Twice a week. I learned who held the mortgage on the building. I pulled county records and saw late fees stacking up. At home, I taught myself to read financial statements, profit and loss, cash flow, debt schedules. The numbers told a story. Metropolitan Entertainment was bleeding. They were selling off assets quietly to stay afloat. 6 months ago, on my phone in the coat closet at 2 in the morning, I saw what I had been waiting for. A filing. Dry legal language. Notice of intent to liquidate non-core assets. That was business code for "we are selling anything we can before we sink." Buried inside the filing was a list of properties. 782 West Street. The address of the Platinum Lounge. I felt my heart start to pound. My hands shook as I took a picture of the page and sent it to Tom and Serena. The reply came back a few hours later. Green light. We are in. The next weeks were a blur of documents, purchase agreements, debt transfers, quiet calls, boring meetings in gray offices with men in gray suits who did not care about clubs or music or nightlife. They cared about numbers. Our numbers made sense to them. One night, while I was hanging coats, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I slipped into the back room to look. Debt purchase complete. Liquor distributor contract assigned. You now control the mortgage and the supply. I read it 3 times. Then I put my phone away and went back to work. Upstairs, Victoria was laughing too loud at something. She was standing on a white leather couch in heels, which was against the rules. But nobody said anything. She was waving a bottle of expensive champagne overhead while a song about hard work and struggle blasted through the speakers. The irony tasted like metal in my mouth. Later that night, around 1, Marcus arrived. He did not wait in line. He never did. He walked straight past the guests and up to my counter like he was walking through his own lobby. He tossed his umbrella in my direction. It was dripping wet from the rain outside. He did not even look to see if I caught it. He just let go. I caught it, of course. My hands do that before my brain even thinks. Dry it, he said. Not please. Not could you. Just an order. Right away, Mr. Chun, I said. My voice was flat, practiced. He stopped, turned, really looked at me for the first time in 3 years. Do I know you? He asked. My heart jumped into my throat. I kept my face calm. I don't think so, sir, I said. He narrowed his eyes. You remind me of someone. A woman who used to run someplace downtown. What was her name? He snapped his fingers, trying to remember. Morrison. Rachel Morrison. She ran that dump called the Glass House. Thought she was better than everyone. Probably in rehab now. He smirked and walked away before I could answer. I stood there holding his wet umbrella. Water dripped down my arm and onto my cheap shoes. A dump. My club that was in design magazines. The one with the wait list months long. A dump. I took the umbrella to the back sink. I did not dry it. I opened it all the way and left it standing open in the middle of the room. People say opening an umbrella indoors is bad luck. I wanted to see if that was true. Then I pulled out my phone again, not to doom scroll. To work. I opened the secure app I use to access county property and supplier portals. I typed in the Platinum Lounge's address. The ownership chain popped up. Metropolitan Entertainment Holdings is owner of record. Under that, a line in small type. Primary creditor, RLM Holdings. Us. I backed out and logged into the distributor system. Premium Beverage Solutions. I had taken over that contract as part of the deal. They supplied almost every premium bottle in this club. Champagne, vodka, whiskey, tequila. The good stuff. I found the account for the Platinum Lounge. I looked at their order history. On time. Regular. No issues. Standing delivery scheduled for the next day. I clicked on the settings. Account status. Active. I clicked the drop-down menu. Active. Suspended. Credit hold. My finger hovered for a second. This was not a joke. If I did this, everything would start. I thought about Jason, the young bartender who shook when Victoria mocked him for making a drink exactly how she ordered it. I thought about the bathroom attendant she once made cry. I thought about the orange sticker on my door and the wave in front of the unemployment office. I set the status to credit hold. A warning popped up. Are you sure? This will stop all deliveries until payment is received. Yes, I whispered to myself, and hit confirm. Within 24 hours, this club would run out of the top-shelf brands these people treated like water. They would not know why. They would call and yell at some poor person on the phone, and that person would tell them the truth. The new owner has put your account on hold. I put my phone away and went back to my little window at the coat check. From there, I could see the whole floor. Victoria laughing, Marcus shaking hands, staff running around trying not to get yelled at. On the surface, nothing had changed. But for the first time since the Glass House died, The ground under their perfect shoes was starting to move. The liquor runs out on a Saturday afternoon, 12 hours before the biggest party of the year. I am not at the club when it happens. I am in my apartment folding laundry when my phone buzzes. It is David. "Rachel, we have a serious problem," he says as soon as I pick up. His voice sounds thin and strained. "The distributor cut us off. They are saying we have a credit hold, but that is impossible. Can you come in early? I need everyone here." "I will be there in an hour," I say. When I hang up, I stand in the middle of my tiny apartment for a long moment. This is it. The first big crack. I shower. I dry my hair. For the first time in 3 years, I put on makeup. Not heavy, just enough to see my old face under the stranger I have been playing. I find my red lipstick at the back of a drawer, the same shade I wore every night at the glass house. It is almost empty, but there is just enough left. I put it on slowly, like a ritual. When I look in the mirror, my heart jumps. I see the woman I used to be, but different. Older, harder, smarter. At 4 in the afternoon, I walk into the Platinum Lounge. Clubs look different in daylight. Without the colored lights and smoke, the magic is gone. You can see the stains on the carpet and the scratches on the bar. The chandeliers look dusty instead of sparkling. The whole place feels smaller and less important. David is in his office on the first floor, surrounded by papers. His tie is loose. His hair is a mess. He has a phone pressed to his ear. "I understand there has been a mistake," he is saying. "We have been customers for 8 years. You cannot just cut us off without warning." He listens. His face goes pale. "What do you mean, new ownership?" he shouts. "Who bought the company? RLM Holdings? I have never heard of them. Can I speak to someone there? No phone number. Only email. That is insane." He slams the phone down and rubs his forehead. I knock on the door frame. "How bad is it?" I ask. He lets out a laugh that does not sound like a laugh. "We have maybe 10 bottles of the good stuff left. Everything else is cheap backup stock we keep for emergencies. Marcus is hosting a party here tonight for 300 people. 300 rich people who always expect the best. If we serve them bottom shelf anything, we are finished. He will drag us online. He will tell everyone we have gone cheap." "Can you buy from someone else?" I ask. "Just for tonight?" "The distributor has an exclusive contract in this district," David says. "We are not allowed to buy from anyone else. If we do, they can sue." I already know all of this. I wrote those terms into the contract myself when RLM bought the distributor. "What about the credit hold?" I ask. "Can you just pay what they want?" "That is the crazy part," David says. "They want $50,000 as a reconnection fee. $50,000. That is not a fee. That is a threat." 50,000. The exact number I lost in revenue during the forced closure of the glass house. I had done the math on a cold night sitting on my floor. I have not forgotten. "Maybe you can negotiate," I suggest. "I tried," he says. "They will not talk to me. They say all communication has to go through the property owner first, but the holding company that owns us does not return calls. I do not even know who to contact anymore." He looks so tired. I almost feel sorry for him. This is not his fault. He is just another worker caught in the middle of rich people's games. "Just do your best tonight," he says. "We will serve what we have and hope people are too drunk to notice." I leave his office and go to the staff room. My uniform hangs in my usual locker. Black shirt, black pants, name tag. I sit down instead of changing and pull out my phone. There is a new email from my lawyer. All documents filed. Property deed recorded. Liquor license transfer complete. You now have full legal authority over 782 West Street. As of 4:47 p.m., proceed when ready. I stare at the words. Full legal authority. Not yet, I type back. Let them have their party first. I change into my uniform and clip on my old name tag. Then I walk to the coat check and take my place behind the counter like I have done 1,000 nights. The club opens at 8. People start arriving fast. By 8:30, the main floor is crowded with suits and cocktail dresses. This is not a regular crowd. These are the kind of guests who talk about markets and mergers over shots of vodka. It is a Technova event. Marcus's big celebration for some merger with another company. There is a banner on the wall with both logos, all sleek and shiny. At 9, Victoria walks in. She is wearing a silver dress that flashes under the lights like water. Her hair is perfect. Her makeup is perfect. She has the smug glow of someone who has never stood in an unemployment line. She walks up to my counter and sets her coat down this time instead of throwing it. Progress, I guess. "I heard the club is having supply problems," she says, scrolling on her phone. "How embarrassing." Marcus is furious. He might pull his business from this place. Find somewhere with actual standards. "That would be unfortunate," I say, tagging her coat. "For you, maybe," she says. "You would have to find another job. Good luck with that." She walks away toward the VIP stairs without a thank you. I hang up her coat and keep my face blank. Marcus arrives 30 minutes later. He does not look at me when he hands me his coat. He is already talking to another man in a suit about numbers and stock prices. I tag it and hang it without a word. From my little window, I watch the party. I see David at the bar as guests ask for brands we do not have. I can read his lips as he apologizes and offers a similar option. Some people take it. Some roll their eyes. Some say they will remember this. At 9:45, I take my break. I do not go to the staff room, I go upstairs. The second floor is mostly offices and storage. There is one room that was used by the old owners. It has been empty for months. Just boxes and dust. 3 days ago, I had a locksmith change the locks and give me a key. I unlock the door and step inside. There's a desk, a chair, and an old computer. I moved my own laptop in yesterday. I sit down and open it. On the screen, the building's camera feeds appear. Every angle, every corner, the bar, the dance floor, the entrance, the VIP section. I see Victoria at her favorite booth, the raised one in the corner, holding court like a queen. She is waving her glass around, complaining about the drinks. I see Marcus shaking hands near the bar, laughing like he has never had a bad day in his life. I see staff racing from table to table, trying to keep up. At 10, the music fades and Marcus takes the microphone. I can hear his voice through the feed and from the floor below. "Thank you all for coming," he says. "Tonight we celebrate a huge step forward for Technova. Our merger with Apex Systems is going to change the future of technology in this city and beyond." People clap and cheer. Glasses are raised. "And I want to thank the Platinum Lounge," he adds. "This place has been our home away from home. A place to relax, celebrate, and enjoy the finer things in life." More applause. I watch Victoria stand and clap the loudest, glowing with pride. I close my laptop. Enough watching. Time to move. I go back downstairs to the coat check. I stand in my spot and breathe in the smell of perfume and alcohol and money. My phone buzzes. A text from Serena. "Valet system access ready. Flip when you want." I open the Valet app. The club uses a third-party service. I found the login 2 weeks ago on a sticky note taped under the desk. The password was password 123. I find Marcus's name. His black Tesla is listed with his plate number and phone. I tap on his profile and mark his car as flagged for unpaid violations. Tow risk. I hit save and lock my phone. At 11, the party starts to thin out. People drift toward the door in groups. Laughter at the bar grows louder as the alcohol gets cheaper down the shelves. Around 11:15, Jason, the bartender, passes by my counter on his way to the back. His shoulders are tight. His eyes look tired. "How bad is it?" I ask quietly. "They hate the cheap stuff," he mutters. "They keep asking for bottles we do not have." I am waiting for someone to throw a glass at me. I am so done. "You will not be here long," I say. He frowns. "You quitting?" "Something like that," I say. At 11:30, the doors open and cool air rushes in. I see Marcus and Victoria heading toward the exit. He is a little unsteady. She is holding his arm and laughing at something he said. They do not even glance at me as they pass. I move to the small side window so I can see outside. Marcus hands his ticket to the valet. The kid on duty tonight is named Kyle. He checks the ticket, then looks down at his tablet. His face changes. He says something to Marcus. Marcus's jaw tightens. He leans in. Kyle points at the screen and shakes his head. Marcus starts yelling. His hands move. People nearby turn to stare. Victoria looks annoyed and confused. The flagged car cannot be moved by valet now. Insurance rules. Marcus has to walk back to his own Tesla, get in himself, and find some public garage in the rain. In his expensive suit, in front of people watching, it is a small thing, really. A tiny fracture in his perfect control. But watching him stomp back into the rain while Victoria huffs behind him feels like the first real breath I have taken in years. When I turn away from the window, David is walking toward me. He looks like he has aged 10 years in one night. "You off at midnight?" he asks. "Usually," I say. "Can you come to the office when your shift ends?" he says. "There is going to be a lot of fallout from tonight. Corporate is going to want answers. I might need to cut staff. I do not know yet." I look at him for a long second. "Sure," I say. "I will come by." Midnight comes faster than I expect. I hang up the last coat, I close the counter, I walk down the hall to David's office. He is sitting at his desk with his head in his hands. The room smells like stress and old coffee. "You wanted to talk," I say, standing in the doorway. He looks up. There are red lines in his eyes. "Yeah," he says. "But now I do not even know where to start. The distributor, the owners, the clients, everything is a mess. Corporate is going to kill me." "There is no corporate anymore," I say. "What?" He frowns. "Metropolitan Entertainment sold this building 3 days ago," I say. "The new owner is RLM Holdings." "Yeah, I heard the name," he says. "Some ghost company. I cannot even get a phone number for them." "You do not need a phone number," I say. "You can talk to me." He blinks. "What are you talking about?" "I am RLM Holdings," I say. "I bought the debt. I bought the liquor contracts. I own this building now, David." He stares at me like the floor just disappeared under his chair. "You bought." His voice trails off. I step into the office and close the door behind me. "Sit down," I say gently. "I am going to tell you what is about to change." David just stared at me. His mouth opened and closed a few times, but no words came out. "You own the building," he finally said. "You're serious?" "I am," I said. "I own the building, the liquor license, and the distributor contract. Right now, this club is a tenant in my property, and it is in violation of the lease." He swallowed. "Are you shutting us down?" "Not you," I said. "Them. The people who think this place is their playground. The ones who treat everyone like trash. You are a good manager, David. You are just working for the wrong people." I pulled an envelope out of my bag and set it on his desk. "This is the new code of conduct," I said. "Read it tonight. Tomorrow, you start using it." He slid it open with shaky hands and glanced at the first page. "Rule 1, I said. "Anyone who abuses staff is banned. No warnings. No second chances. I do not care how much money they spend or who they are married to." He looked up at me. "You're really doing this?" "I did not spend 3 years eating instant noodles and pretending to be invisible to keep everything the same," I said. "We are going to run this place my way now. Sunday night is my last night in the old uniform. I get there 3 hours before opening. The first thing I do is go outside. A maintenance crew is waiting with a ladder and a new sign. We take down the old one, the Platinum Lounge. Members only. We put up the new one, the Platinum Lounge. Under new management, the words look right. Inside, I walk up to the VIP section. Victoria's booth. The raised corner spot that makes her feel like she is above everyone else. Underneath that platform, the support beam is cracked and starting to rot. I did not cause that. Years of heavy tables and people standing on couches did. But the old owners ignored it, because that section made money. I bring in a real inspector, a man with gray hair and tired eyes. He crawls onto the platform, shines a flashlight, and shakes his head. If this beam gives out on a busy night, people could get hurt, he says. This whole section needs to be closed until repairs are done. So we close it, I say. By the time the doors open at 10, the VIP booth is wrapped in bright yellow caution tape. There are metal barriers around it and a big sign that says, "Danger. Structural damage. Do not enter." You cannot miss it, especially if you are used to thinking of that space as your throne. I go to the coat check and stand in my usual spot. Same black clothes. Same counter. But tonight, my red lipstick is back on. Tonight I am not hiding. Marcus arrives first. He walks in fast, shoulders tight. He slams his coat down on the counter without looking at me. "Big weekend," he mutters. "Let's hope you people got your act together." I tag his coat and hang it on the rack. When I turn back, he is watching me with narrowed eyes. "You," he says. "You're that woman. From that other club. The Glass House." "Yes," I say. "What are you doing here?" he asks. His voice has an edge now. "Working," I say. "Managing, owning." "Stop joking," he snaps. "I'm not joking," I say. "I own this building. I own the debt. I own the liquor contract. You are standing on my floor, Mr. Chun." He laughs once. The sound is short and harsh. "That's impossible," he says. "You can check the county records if you want," I say. "Public information, look up RLM Holdings." His face changes when I say the name. He has heard it. He just did not expect it to be me. Before he can answer, the door opens again. Victoria steps in. She is wearing a white leather coat that probably needs its own insurance policy. She walks straight to me. Eyes on her phone, not on my face. She throws the coat. The zipper hits my cheek. I feel a sting. Warmth. A line of blood starts to move down toward my jaw. "Oops," she says. Her voice is flat. "Slippery hands. Hang it up and try not to bleed on it." The coat lands on the counter between us. I do not lift my hands. I do not move. "Pick it up," she says. "No," I say. The word feels heavy and clean in my mouth. Conversations nearby slow down. People turn to look. "What did you say?" she asks, laughing like she thinks she misheard me. I said no, I repeat. I touch my cheek and wipe the blood with my fingers. "You threw it at my face. You can pick it up." "David!" she shouts, her voice rising. "Get over here, now." David hurries over, wiping his hands on his shirt. "This coat check girl just refused to do her job," Victoria says. "Fire her, right now. I want her gone." David looks at me, then at Victoria, then at Marcus. His jaw tightens. "I can't do that, Mrs. Chun," he says quietly. "You can't?" she snaps. "I pay for half your salary with what we spend here." "No," David says. "You don't. She does." He nods at me. She is the owner now. The room goes silent. Marcus stares at me like I have grown a second head. "That is not funny," Victoria says. "Tell him to stop. This is ridiculous." I reach into my jacket pocket and pull out an envelope. I hand it to Marcus. "This is a formal trespass notice," I say. "You are both banned from this property, permanently. If you come back, security will call the police." Victoria laughs, but there is a crack in the sound. "You cannot ban us," she says. "We made this place." "You did not," I say. "You just took up space in it." I nod at the coat on the counter. "You threw that at my face," I say. "Now you can pick it up from the floor, or you can walk out without it. Either way, you are leaving." Her eyes flash. She stands there for a long moment. Then, slowly, she bends down. White dress, white heels, perfect hair. She picks her own coat up off the ground in front of everyone. There is dirt on it now, a black scuff where someone's shoe stepped on it. She hugs it to her chest like a shield. "Happy," she whispers. Her eyes are shiny. Her face is tight. "Not happy," I say. "Done." Security steps up beside them, not touching, just waiting. "Let's go," Marcus says through clenched teeth. "We will sue. You have no idea who you are dealing with." "I do," I say. "For 3 years, I listened to you talk. I watched you treat everyone like they were not human. Now you are not my problem anymore. You are someone else's." They turn toward the door. Victoria pauses and looks back one last time. "You are still just a coat girl," she says. "This is all you will ever be." I meet her eyes. "And you," I say calmly, "are outside my building." The heavy door closes behind them. There is a second of quiet. Then, somewhere in the back, someone starts clapping. Then, another person. Then, another. Within a few breaths, most of the room is applauding. I do not bow. I do not smile for them. I walk behind the bar, unscrew a fresh bottle from the new shipment that arrived this morning, and lift it in the air. "Drinks are on the house for the next hour," I say. "Let's start over." The cheer that rises up feels like a wave, but I do not stay at the bar. David and Jason and the rest of the team can handle this part. I go upstairs to the office. I close the door and sit at the desk. On the security screens, I see the club moving in a different way now. Lighter. Staff laughing. Shoulders dropping. People breathing. My phone buzzes. A message from Serena. "Congratulations." What's next? I stare at the words for a long moment. What is next? Revenge brought me here. But revenge is not a business plan. It is just the first brick. I think about every server I have seen get yelled at for nothing. Every bartender who has been talked down to. Every coat check girl who has been treated like air. I type back. Now we build. 3 more clubs in 6 months. New rules. Staff first. No abuse. Ever. I hit send. Then I open my desk drawer. Inside is my old name tag, the one that says Rachel Staff. I took it out of the trash last night and kept it. I run my thumb over the cheap plastic. For 3 years, that tag was my disguise. It made me invisible. It let me get close enough to learn where the power really lived. People think power is about volume, about yelling, about showing off. But real power is information, contracts, ownership. Knowing how the system works so well that you can move pieces without anyone seeing your hand. If someone destroys your life, you can stay angry and hope the universe fixes it for you. Or you can get educated. Learn the rules they used. Learn the tools they pulled. Learn the paths money takes. You do not have to break the system. You can buy it. I put the old tag back in the drawer. Tomorrow, I will have a new one made for myself and for everyone else. Better uniforms, better pay, better rules. Mine will say, Rachel Morrison, owner. I close the drawer. Downstairs, the music rises again. The lights glow. The club keeps moving, but now it is different. Tonight was the end of something. Tomorrow is the start of everything else.